Okay, first of all, let me let you know that there are so many programs to develop 3D designs. Like every different program right now is very, very helpful, very good. Um, there's Google SketchUp, there's Rhinoceros, there is Fusion, there's Inventor, there's Autodesk, all the programs for Autodesk. Um, there's even PTC Creo, there's Space Claim. There are so many programs that have a lot in common, and it's about curves, when designing curves, designing surfaces, and defining solids. That's basically what 3D design is. So in this introduction video, I want to start showing you how to develop designs on one of these programs. In our case, we're going to use Rhinoceros, which is a very, very powerful program that you will use even at university level. So in this case, if you start using this and learning all the tools and start getting related with all these design, you can actually use this even in college. But another alternative is also Google SketchUp. Google SketchUp is very easy to use. It's very simple. You can also, if you feel more comfortable with it, it uses everything that it needs for 3D designing. Okay, you can use this. You can use 3D CAD, 123 CAD. There are so many. In our case, since we want to print the things, I will use Rhinoceros, and I will teach you how to use Rhinoceros for 3D printing. We want to do most of our work and most of our robot design, like the chassis and other elements in our robot, like grippers and gears, or drive trains or gearboxes. We want to design them using Rhinoceros. Okay, so I'm going to start with the basic about Rhinoceros. Okay, understand that when you open Rhinoceros, you should go to File, New, and determine what is the template that you should use depending on the size of your design. We have large objects, centimeters, inches, meters, millimeters, small objects, centimeters. Since we are going to build small things, okay, small things and very precise, I would encourage you to use large objects, millimeters. Okay, so we're going to click on open, and here we have large objects, millimeters. Now you want to make sure that on your grid you have two types of lines. If you can't see them, then you didn't choose the correct option. But you should have large squares, and inside that square you should have 10 small squares, okay, which are the millimeters. So the small square is a millimeter, and the large square would be 10 millimeters, which is a centimeter. Okay, that's something that you need to really understand, because if I say that we're going to build our chassis of 10 centimeters long, then we need 10 big squares. Okay, and if we're going to make it 5 centimeters wide, we're going to make 5 small big squares. But if we need, let's say, 20 millimeters would be 10 small squares plus 10 small squares would be 20 small squares. That would be 20 millimeters, okay? So it is important that we have our units very, very understood, okay? So let's start drawing right away, because I think that's the most important thing. Doing is learning, and let's start just drawing a line. Okay, on Rhinoceros there are 4 viewports. Before you can do anything, you need to be related with the viewports. If you right click on any of the 3 viewports, you can actually drag and pan over the different viewports. If you scroll in and out, you can actually zoom in and out. Okay, if you scroll down or scroll up, you can zoom in and out. Now on the perspective view is where you see the object in 3D. Whatever you're doing here, you see it on 3D. This perspective view, it's a helping viewport. Well, you don't really want to draw anything on this viewport because you don't know exactly where you're putting it. putting your cursor, okay? But you can see how the object is looking here on the perspective. Now, if you right click on the perspective view, you actually orbit, okay? So you can orbit, and if you need to pan, you just press shift and move around your viewport, okay? So this is the viewports. Very important for us. Now, if we get all our viewports messy, like completely out of the range, and we want to set everything back to its origin, on the top you see like a small icon with 4 viewports, and you're going to right click there and you will get the default viewport. That is very, very important, okay? So let's start drawing. For some of you, for your robot, you can design a circle or you can design a square, okay, or a rectangle. So let's start with a circle. I'm going to make a circle, and my circle, it's pretty much around 9 centimeters radius, okay? What is the radius of a circle? The radius of the circle is the distance between any point on the circle and the center of the circle, okay? So let's say 9 millimeters would be this, and 9 centimeters would be, oh my god, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, okay? So 9 would be my radius, okay? It is important that you, on the bottom part, you see the bottom part, you should highlight the grid snap and the planner tool. The grid snap will allow us to always stick to the grid when we are working, okay? It will just stick to the grid when we are working. That is very, very important, okay? So we have our circle. Now this is going to be the base of our robot, okay? This is going to be the base. And here we're going to start putting all the things of our robot, like drawing the holes for the Arduino, placing the different things on the motor controllers, the sensors, etc. The battery, we should leave space for the battery, and we can do everything before we print it on our 3D printer, or we actually cut it on a CNC machine or a laser cutter. Okay. Now, if we want to build a square, let's build a square. So on the left, you see rectangle. We're going to click on the rectangle, and we can build any rectangle that we want. Okay. If you double click on the top view, you can get this big. You can maximize the top view, and we can make a square of any size that you like. Okay? Now, it is important that we make a square or the size, taking into account the size that we need, the maximum size that we need. Okay? Now, if we wish to delete or take away one of these elements, I can just select it. It will turn yellow, and just press the key delete. Okay? Now this is a curve. Okay? The curve, it's just something flat on the ground. It's something flat. You can't actually, it doesn't have a width, okay, or a thickness. That thickness is important for creating solids. But on Rhinoceros, it's very simple to create solids. You're going to go to the solid toolbar. You're going to go to extrude planar curve, straight, and any curve that you want, you can turn it into a solid. So, if you read the command line where it says select curves to extrude, I am going to click on the curve that I want to turn into an object. Okay? Then it says press enter when done. Press enter, and look, if I go to the front view, I can actually give some extrusion to my curve. Now, I want to make it 3 millimeters. 1, 2, 3 squares. Or if you want, you can actually type how much distance you want to use. Since we're using millimeters, we type in 3 millimeters and you will get a height of 3. Okay? That is something that you can see how to create your solids. Oh, but it doesn't. It still doesn't look like a solid. It just looks like a thing that it's not. That is just a surface. Well, if you right-click on perspective, we can change that. We can actually change it, and it looks now like a cube, like a piece of flat wood or any material. Okay, it's a surface, but it now has a thickness. Okay, so it's in your case what we want to do. What we want to do right now is design different models. Okay, you can design different models for your robot. Another thing that you can do is using, instead of square and circle, or rectangle and circle, you can draw lines. So if you click here and draw a line, you can go ahead and make the size of your robot just like you want it to be, or like any type of design that you like. You can use and I'm just building a random design for my robots. Like it's going to be, my robot is going to be an arrow. So I created an arrow just with the lines. I need to go across and make all my robot, and then after I have my line completed, I can go to solid, extrude planar curve, straight, and I can build my robot. Okay, so you can make any design that you wish. Okay, the type, the what is the dimensions, and all that. Okay, so in this tutorial, or in this part of the course, before you actually start designing, I want you to design the base of the robot, or the chassis of the robot. Okay, this is what we're going to do today, in order for you to create your robots, and then I'll help you develop some other templates. Okay,